Hey, it's TDA, and today we're playing some more Mindustry. It started out really easy, the last couple of levels, but in the most recent level that I played, the lake, things definitely heated up, so I am very much looking forward to see if we can actually beat Intersect on the first time. The threat level here is high, so let's go and find out. Okay, TDA from the future for a moment. There's actually two playthroughs of this level in this episode. The first time is me learning a few pretty important lessons on how this game works, but also failing the level. So for those of you that want to skip the fail and see me just obliterating the level instead, check the timestamp for the second attempt. Scans suggest that the sector will be attacked from multiple sides soon after landing. That sounds good. Set the defenses quickly and expand as soon as possible. Mech units will be required for the area's rough terrain. Well, that sounds very promising. We are going to lift off from our previous base that is going to be supplying the resource for our technology tree. And let's pause the game straight away. Well, actually, let's wait to see how far this circle expands. There we go. Okay, so what's this? This is actually... Is this the enemy already? Okay. And this too? Okay, and I'm slightly worried actually. So, this seems blocked off. Is that actually blocked off? I don't know. I'm a little bit scared. Wave 1 out of 9. So the first wave will be here in 8 minutes. So we have only 8 minutes to prepare. We have some resources over here. Do we have any tungsten? This is not tungsten, right? No, this is just the graphite and beryllium. Okay, so I am going to set some basics up and then see where that takes us. Before I do that, actually, let's check out the technology tree if you have anything new. So we have the mech fabricator over here, which needs 1k tungsten. Yeah, my production is pitiful in that regard. So this is one of the reasons why you might want to stick around in one of the previous levels even longer than I already did, just to get that up and running. But I don't think we need it right now. At least I hope we don't. Other than that, there's just a couple of things we can unlock. Nothing we can build right now. And all of that needs tungsten, which, again, I don't feel I have. Unless I'm missing something. Let me double check. I don't see it anywhere on the map right now. So yeah, let's start building some basics. Okay, so here we go. I did actually pause the game once again after building this because, well, it's about 5 minutes until the next wave arrives, and I do want to explain to you what I did. So I added in a little bit of production facility here for the graphite, and really nice and tight and compact actually, because we're kind of like in this corner over here, which I hope it's going to be easy to defend. I'm a little bit worried about these walls, actually. I don't remember if the enemy can actually shoot through these. I think they can, which would be a problem if they attack me from this side. But we'll deal with that once we get to that. For now, however, yeah, this seems like a pretty defendable situation. And we have a little bit of everything. We have some graphite, we have some silicon production, and we have a tank fabricator, which should be churning out our first tanks in just a moment. Now that means I do also want to start expanding to here, and I just realized I can actually mine resources myself to speed things up as well. Should not forget about that. Look at that. Apparently this is the level where we build tiny cute little bases. I have a little bit of graphite, a little bit of beryllium over here, and some sand crushers, and that means that I can put in another silicon arc and a tank fabricator. Now this tank fabricator is actually producing, as you can see, but for some reason this one is not, and I already rebuilt it and I still can't figure out why it is not working. Am I just misunderstanding how these power connectors work? Do they need to come up directly from a power building? You can't just interconnect buildings? I guess it's easy enough to find out. Let's build one. Yeah, okay, so this is actually not doing anything. Okay, that is good to know, I guess. That does mean that I need to rethink my power connections. So if I built this, like this, actually the int power connection does work. I just didn't realize these things were actually not powered. So it was a little bit misleading that these things did show as powered while they were actually not guiding any power because the buildings they were connected to were not. Well, anyway, that means we have 2 tank fabricators producing tanks now. And if I rally them to a more convenient point, something like that, that should imply... Oh, no. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh boy. Yeah, so nothing happened there. You didn't see anything. I made no mistakes there. I didn't need to rebuild anything. No, no, no. It's all okay. So I'm actually going to do some exploring with these first few tanks. We still have 2 minutes. What's this? Something popped up there. I just didn't see it. Leave drop point immediately. Annihilation alert. Okay. Not entirely sure what we're supposed to do with that, but let's not stand in that circle, I guess. I have no idea where the enemy is actually going to come from. Probably around here. So yeah, let me do some more exploring. Okay, so moment of truth. The timer just ran out. It spawned a couple of enemies in that annihilation zone by the looks of it. It's just 3 tanks, so I think should be just fine. I actually did build another turret as well. Where are you guys going? Hold on, hold on. So stop destroying my factory and just ignoring all my defenses by running past. It's a little annoying that that happens, so I should probably wall off this area a little bit better to prevent that from happening. Which actually reminds me, when I go into my technology tree, I did have a gate or something over here. Yeah, a blast door, which I cannot unlock because I don't have enough tungsten. Yeah, I should definitely stock up on some more resources before moving on to the next level. I am going to work my way towards that blast door, however. And should I wall it off? I mean, my tanks still need to be able to get out, so that is a thing to consider. I might just build all my tanks here, honestly, and that would mean I have a bit more of that raw resource stuff coming into my main facility. Okay, so let's see. The next wave is already coming in 3 minutes. Okay. When am I supposed to actually expand? This is really stressful. Let's see. I did some exploring. There is actually nothing of interest over here. So I'm thinking I should probably rely a little bit more on static defenses to keep my base safe. Those 3 units I could have easily held off with just a couple of turrets. So let's build a few more of those and then use my army that I've built in the meanwhile, maybe after the next wave, to find another base and start expanding there. Well, as it turns out, I'm really bad at optimizing my priorities because the timer is already run out and I'm still working on building my new turrets. Honestly, I do feel like I should have maybe make this into a single base, making sure that the overflow is actually going to go into my bastion, because right now it is not, which is a problem. I am wondering how many enemies we'll see. So these are actually 4 enemies. There's a couple of different types of tanks in here as well. I think my defenses are making short work of that. So all in all, it's not going too bad, but there is definitely a room for improvement. Okay, so I did a lot of exploring, and I'm probably missing something because there's no resources here, and this is actually a very large but completely locked in area. So I can't reach this specific location even if I wanted to, because apparently I guess I need those new tanks if I look at the thing here. However, I'm going to need 1000 tungsten for that. The only place where I'm producing that is in the other level, and that has a rather pitiful production. I have optimized that as much as I can, I think, but it's going to take a while to get this 1 tungsten. So either I am completely missing something, please let me know in the comments, or I should just have waited around a little bit longer in that previous level, get some more tungsten production up and running, and maybe, I don't know, not spend it on things like walls. But there's really no way I could have known that, I think. So yeah, I am just going to have to sit here, defend my base with my 15 tanks, which I do now have, and then wait it out, I suppose. Oh yeah, and before I forget, I did build in this kind of like overflow supply line now, assuming that I didn't accidentally remove a little part of that, so that the overflow of production from this base is now actually reaching my main base as well. So we're stocking up on resources, and I guess we're going to need them because we're going to be attacked once again in 15 seconds. Well, these waves aren't that powerful, it's just 5 units still, and with all these turrets, that is very easy to defend. So yeah, just some more waiting. Well, I actually accidentally just sped up the next wave, and that spawned some fly units that came in the back of my base. So, yeah. Things are heating up, and I am still waiting around for that tungsten to come in so I can actually build my mech. This level is probably not going to be completed in the way that it's supposed to be. I've added in a couple of turrets over here, so let's just speed up the next wave and see where that leads us. They are attacking my supply lines by the looks of it, but that wave wasn't too bad. Do I get some more of those flying units this time around? Doesn't look like it. There's 5 enemies remaining. Oh, there they are. There they are. Oh, they're actually they're just walking straight over this. Okay, that's interesting. Also good to know that those units can do that. That's definitely where those bots come in that I can't currently actually build myself, because that would imply that I can just walk over here, build in this base, destroy that base. Yeah, okay. Well, at least now we know what the intent behind this level is. I just realized that my bastion is on its last legs. It's almost completely destroyed. And as far as I can tell, there's no way to actually repair buildings other than just rebuilding them, which for my core is probably not what I want to be doing. So I am building a whole lot of walls to make sure that a lot of the firepower is going to be blocked, and hopefully that is enough to keep everything alive. I am also building a turret in the middle of all of this to have some more defense. My tanks are stationed here. At this point, I think I've done all that I can. I am still quite a while away, actually, from unlocking the tanks that I need, as you can see. So, yeah. Okay, well, let's see. We have another wave incoming. My tank... I'm actually going to just let these tanks come towards my tanks, because they're not destroying anything vital over there. That's not the problem. These flying units, well, there's not flying units, there's actually tanks. These are definitely the problem. They are going to be destroying some buildings over here, but that's not a problem. This damages, though. Yeah, that's how far my bastion goes. There we go. We are now defeated. Well, this is turning into a very good example of how not to play the game. Okay, so let's try it again. I actually optimized the tungsten production in the previous level now with some additional power that I connected from the second base we captured, and now I actually have all that power. I can have 2 vent condensers, so I can mine all of this tungsten at the same time. There's a little bit of tungsten over here as well, but I don't think we really need to go that far. I think I pretty much doubled my tungsten production in this level now. So if I now go to the research map, I can't actually unlock this because it's not showing it right now, but I do now have almost 1,000 tungsten already available in here. So I can just sit here for a moment, click a couple of these things and make sure I have all of the new unlocks that I have available in this level, and then just continue on to the next level and try it again with everything that I need actually unlocked. Okay, so with some more new resources, let's try that again, and hopefully this time around I can actually build the tanks I need for the level. I mean, it helps when the first thing you can actually do at the start of the level is unlock the mech fabricator. So this is going to allow us to build some new things. Let's check that out. These are probably going to be in here. Yep. We need tungsten to actually build this. Did I completely miss the tungsten on the map the first time around? Okay, that's really strange. Should I have been building? Oh, really? Did I just not realize I can build a bastion here straight away? Let's check if I can actually do that. A bastion. Can I place that down? Yes. Can I start building it? Yes. I am a complete moron. Well then, that completely changes this level, because honestly I assumed I couldn't get in here or build anything in here, but I can actually build in here, I just can't fly into it. So that's honestly not obvious. Honestly, it's a little bit of strange game design, but anyway, I can build here, so I can actually take all of these resources over here. And now I'm also starting to wonder, can I actually build across this as well? Oh my god, I can just... Okay, hold on. Let's first get some of these basic resources up and running. And then I guess we just start building over here in the shielded zone. I mean, it's still a little bit weird, this mechanic, but yeah, if it works, it works. Can't argue with effectiveness. Let's see, we actually do need to have some power moving into all of this, but yeah, other than that, does this work? Works like a charm, alright. And by adding in a couple more of these beryllium drills, I actually doubled my beryllium production in like the first minute or two of the game already. Now, In order to get this tungsten up and running, we're going to need some silicon. We have all the required materials over here. So I'm actually going to tap into the same resources as before, make some power, and then get some silicon production up and running, either for tanks. I'm not actually sure we need tanks in this level, but at least to make sure I can get these drills. In order to get that going, I added in a couple of these miners over here to get all of these base resources up and running. And yes, I did actually decide this time around to make a little bit of a belt all the way to my main base, just to make sure that all the production that I'm putting up initially is not going to waste. All of these things are producing now. All of these things are flowing into my inventory. So that means that I'm actually still building very actively. So you can see I'm not topped up on anything, just to make sure nothing is going to go to waste. Now I do need to have at least a couple of these silicon plants up and running. We have a lot of sand over here, so I think we can utilize this space to do exactly that. So 2 of these should do the trick just fine. As you can see, we have a pretty fair amount of silicon already flowing in, and that means it's time to turn back to here. I can't fly in here, but I should be able to build a couple of things. So let's pause again. I am going to need, let's see, I need a vent condenser to make sure I have some water. I probably want that second turbine condenser here as well, if I can build that. Can I reach there? Yeah, I can. And then what else do I want? I want at least 1 impact drill. Let's just start with 1 for now. That needs to be connected. We can use the same output line that we have over here. I don't think that's a problem, at least not for the moment. I would utilize this stuff as well, but I can't because there's buildings in the way and I have no way of removing them. But once we have some tanks up and running, we should be able to do that. Let's see, what else do I need? I need some water, but I think all we need to do now is connect this up like so, build this, and yeah, well, actually, no, I need to power this as well. That might be helpful. Let's see, something like that. But yeah, that should be all there is to it. The impact drill has water, it has power, it's going to be drilling. Actually, let's build a second one to go along with the first. Something like that. And then just have that connected up to this as well. We do need to have some more water. That's not this one, that's the other one. There we go. Something like that. How much water was this producing again? Let's pause there for a moment. I forgot. Was it a 1-to-1? 30 water per second. And this is taking in how much? It's a little annoying that I need to go here to see that. Oh no, I can actually power 3 of these things. I just can't fit in a third one because this building is in the way. I could move everything over a little bit. Do I want to bother for the tiny amount of tungsten production? Probably not. Why is this not working? Alright, I do need a junction, a router I believe it is. There we go, now we have water going here as well. It helps if you power things, TBA. There you go. And there we go, now this is working as well. Alright, now we're optimizing things. With 4 minutes to spare, we have tapped into all the resources on the map. Actually all the resources on the map for this time around, with the exception of the ones that are actually in the enemy base. Let's see, so now we do know the first wave of enemies is just going to come from this direction. So I think I should be fine if I just place a couple of turrets down here. This is actually why I put the beryllium on the outside as well. Can I see where the actual landing zone is? I think I can if I move over here. Yeah, so it's over here. So we pause, and if we just put a couple of turrets like this, and then probably you can just, well, this might be a bit overkill. These turrets are actually pretty expensive. Let's start with 2 of them for now. I do need to make sure they actually have a way to get resources, so something like this. And then what I'm actually just going to do, I think, is make sure these things are very well walled off. Something like this. Remember, the enemy is going to try to run past this, so I do need to actually wall this in. But we have plenty of beryllium incoming while we're waiting for our tungsten, so yeah, this should not be a problem. So while I'm building my giant wall over here with the turrets attached to it, let's see, we should also probably start working on some of these tanks. In order to build a mech fabricator, I actually do need 300 graphite. Why am I so low on graphite? Mostly because I am using a huge part of that, and that goes into here. Why are you guys... they are working. They're just not doing that much. We can actually manually mine for a bit. That does speed things up considerably. And that should allow me to pretty soon. We only need 300, so come on, you can do it. It's flowing in pretty quickly. I actually think we should be placing the mech fabricator over here. We actually have both the beryllium and the tungsten coming in over there. Actually, maybe it should be over here. I'll show you why in a moment. So placing them over here, I actually have 2 of these factories up and running now, allows me to, with a little bit of a cluster F of different belts, to combine both the silicon production that I have over here with all of the beryllium production that is coming from up here, down here, as well as down here, to funnel all of that into the mech fabricator. The mechs themselves, even though I need a tungsten to create these factories, only need beryllium and silicon. Quite a lot of those 2 things actually, but it's relatively easy things to make, and I am making quite a bit of silicon and beryllium, so I think we should be able to keep 2 of these factories up and running. As you can see, I am actually running a little bit low on power, which is where this turbine condenser over here will come into handy as soon as I can free that up, but I'm going to need some tanks in order to do that first. In the meanwhile, still about 1 minute to go until the first wave is coming in, so if I want to play it safe, I might as well build yet another breach over here. Okay, so 3 turrets are up. They should all have ammo, and the first tanks are actually coming out pretty soon as well. I don't think I need these tanks in order to defeat these few enemies. As you can see, the turrets are not doing that much damage, but they are able to keep off a couple of tanks like that. And there we go. We actually have our first little creepy crawlers, which I'm going to use for my defense down south, but I'm also going to add in a couple of these diffuse turrets over here for some additional firepower for the next couple of waves. In the meanwhile, I have built a few more of those creepy crawlers, and I'm not entirely sure what these can and cannot move over. I mean, as you can see, the brick blocks they seem to be ignoring. They move over buildings just fine. It's a little bit confusing, but for the moment, let's see if we can hold off over here. Yeah, that is no problem whatsoever. I actually thought this wave already included some of these enemy units from down south, but it doesn't seem like that, so that means that I should probably use these 3 minutes to build a few more of these bots and potentially see if we can take out a part of this base over here. In the meanwhile, I almost forgot, I found out that there's actually graphite down here as well when I started to explore this with my little radar over here, which means that I not only have a lot more graphite than I thought I had, I can also have some of these diffusers over here being fueled by that, because this is actually the ammo they use, and hopefully make sure that I make short work of any enemies coming from the south as well. Let's reinforce some walls here as well, and I think with these 5 turrets over here, anything that I saw coming up earlier should be able to be held off by that. And in a pinch, I still have, of course, my defensive units as well that I can just move around. But yeah, I feel pretty good about my defenses so far. I also feel like I could use a little bit more silicon production, so I set that up over here, but now let's see how these waves go. There's a couple of more units in here, but look at all that damage these diffusion turrets are doing. That's pretty nice. Now, there should be a few more units, right? Question mark? No, not. Now, let's see. We are at 12 out of 15 units. I'll just wait for the last few to be constructed, and then we can take the army out for a stroll. Alright, let's do this. We have an army over here. I was building some defenses on this side as well. I actually assumed the enemy was coming from the other side, but I'm not sure. And look at that. I'm not sure if they're just walking over the wall or if that is working like intended. Now let's see if this guys can actually take out a turret or 2 without getting themselves killed. Looks like we're doing just fine. Now what I'm really wondering about is if we take out this base, does that mean that we actually win the level, or do I need to defend myself against another 5 waves as well? It doesn't seem that there is any of those construction units around that we had last time. And if that is actually the case, then we can also get some of these resources as well. There's some more tungsten here, some more graphite by the looks of it. Probably some more beryllium as well. Yep. Let's actually find out. Well, I didn't win the level yet, so that's a thing. But yeah, let me just walk around and do some more exploring to find out where the enemy actually is, if there are still more enemies left. So I haven't found any more enemies on the map over here at least, but it does seem that I was right about where the enemies would be coming from, because that first wave of additional units that can actually walk over walls came from this direction. They do actually seem to struggle with the wall I put up, so that's a good thing, and they, well, as you can see, they just evaporated pretty much. Well, I figured if I have another base, I might as well put it to use. I'm trying to currently set up some production over here, but yeah, I'm running out of time for the next wave. Still looks like my turrets over here are doing a fine job at keeping the enemy at bay. They're not even close to getting destroyed. There's 2 enemies remaining. Those are coming from this direction. Those are being obliterated as well. I did see there was a spawning zone over here somewhere as well. I'm not entirely sure which wave those are related to. But I figured, well, if I am just going to bring a couple more of those defuse towers hidden behind a wall, it was working everywhere else, so I assume I will be fine as well. I actually haven't really used my tanks at all in this level. I don't think there's any more enemies. And it also means that I might just press this button, maybe? I mean, what else am I going to do? This is easily being destroyed. Just 5 enemies remaining. Yep, that works pretty well. Those are once again destroyed. Now, it is worth noting that these are actually booster towers by water from the turbines, which I haven't actually set up over here, so let's do that as well. Something like this should do the trick. I can always add in a couple more rows of walls if I want to. That means it's pretty much impossible to get out of here, but that's not what I want to do anyway. And I'm actually also starting to build a bastion over here because I have the resources for that now. And once I have more bastions, I can build more tanks. So I'm even safer than I already am. I also doubled up on the walls over here. I should probably do that over here as well, but yeah, I can only build at 1 place at a time, so let's just take it easy. Well, some more tungsten production up and running even, and I tapped into the power that I found all the way down here, and we should have another wave incoming. Is that also going to get completely destroyed? These 5 bots are probably not going to get very far. Nope, they are not. There is a group of 5 coming from this direction. Those should get killed as well. Is this the point where they come from the other side? Yeah, I did destroy something over here, not entirely sure what, but as expected, my turrets over here are doing just fine. It's worth noting that thanks to that second bastion I invested in, I can now build 30 tanks, so I am almost up to 25 tanks already. And yeah, I think we can speed things up a little bit now. Famous last words. Because everything here is getting destroyed very easily. I should probably have finished these walls before anything attacked them. Oh, there are some enemies trying to get through here actually, so I do need to wall this off a little bit more intensely. And why is my core under attack? Oh, okay. There's a flying unit over here. What does actually shoot at that? My tanks apparently do not. That's a problem. Well, in that case, I am going to need some of these breach turrets, I guess. Okay, I did double check, and in all fairness, it does say that the Merui, or however you pronounce that, fires long-range artillery at enemy ground targets. So it specifically excludes, I guess, the air targets, because the other tanks that I've been able to build so far do say just enemy targets in general. So I built a couple of turrets over here, and they took out the enemy quite quickly, but it turns out there's another one of them, and oh, are you actually shooting at me? Can I lure you? Hello? Hello? Come on, come on. I have turrets over here. Come on. Hello? Yes, yes, yes. This is the weirdest way to defeat an enemy ever, but okay. I should probably just build another turret to make short work of it. Go turret, go turret. This thing is doing pitiful damage, but it is actually doing damage, I believe. Pretty sure it is, at least. Yeah, there we go. Sector captured. Well, almost got interesting there at the end, but all in all, it looks like if you just build up a pretty decent defense, this level isn't actually all that difficult. I do have to say, this is by far the most confusing level in a game I have played recently, because honestly, I just didn't know what was expected of me, and if once I actually figured that out, the level was straightforward. But yeah, there could have been a little bit more guidance to this level, I believe. It is worth noting that if your base actually gets attacked like I was just attacked and a couple of your buildings are destroyed, you can actually just press B and select the whole area, and that's going to be completely rebuilt based on what you already had before, so you don't need to do all the micromanaging of your belts and stuff like that all over again just because a couple of buildings got destroyed. Nope, as long as you don't build anything else over it, of course, you're free to just continue ahead as you were. Now, what I'm going to do is, of course, completely construct all the resources in this level. I think I already covered most of that, but I am going to explore just to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything, like, for example, this power over here that apparently got destroyed. Make sure I got all this tungsten up and running as well, and then I think we actually unlocked everything there is to unlock in this level for now. So all I'm trying to make sure is that I bring plenty of resources into the next level so we can immediately unlock, let's say, new tanks that we might have gotten to deal with anything else the game decides to throw at us. Well, either way, I hope you enjoyed me stumbling through this level and actually learning the game as we go. If not, let me know in the comments. If you just prefer to see a clean executed level, then that is worth knowing. But if you do enjoy seeing me kind of stumble through that, I would also like to know. So let me know in the comments. Either way, if you're still here, you're awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.